Hi, this is Ben from Two Guys Talking Shit, or GTS. I'm going to call my co-host Dan Nolan. He has a long-ass number. I think he's in a different country, but I know he lives in Indiana. One. Long-ass number.
Exit Realty, this is Dan.
Hey, Dan, this is Ben from Two Guys Talking Shit. Let's talk some shit.
Hello, let's play some Two Guys Talking Shit today. How are you?
Oh, I'm getting over a cold, so my voice is kind of raspy, so that's really it. I'm back home with my wife and my family. My brother's back from Europe. He had a lovely trip. He saw some family, I guess. Hey, how's everybody doing? How's your week going?
I'm having a good week. I had two closings on Monday. Yesterday was catching up on paperwork. Today has been kind of like back into gear. It's been a good week so far.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad. Well, I talked to my friend who works with service dogs again. He was telling me about how much money they raised this year, and I was thinking we should do something for these guys. So if you know a service dog agency, donate. I mean, I'm going to start donating. I'm going to start volunteering my time any way I can. So what do you think about that, Dan?
As a person who used to do it during the winter, walking dogs and supporting animals, even if it's just going up to your local, your local rescue or your shelter, you can ask to volunteer to be on a list of volunteers who walk the dogs in the morning and at night. It's not always just one person who does it, but it's easier when you have like 5 or 6 volunteers who rotate in and rotate out. I have a shit ton of fun walking dogs. And these are dogs that you might not see these dogs again. They may get rescued by the next time you rotate back in for a shift. And it's kind of, you got to get used to it. I mean, you want these dogs gone, but you're always looking forward to the favorite ones. And when they're rescued, you're probably not on site when it happens. It's like a surprise. Don't let that throw you. But they're off to a good home. And that's the whole job, is to keep them thriving until they actually do find a final home.
Yeah, well,
especially rescue dogs. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, his dog saved his life. He told me he had night terrors and stuff. He was telling me how bad it was because he just got back from Afghanistan. And I just say, hey, man, I'm glad you have a dog. I know I had a great dog, and I miss her every day. She's my best buddy. I mean, I don't know about people, but you know what? I like dogs better than cats. Don't hate me for that, but I like dogs better than cats. I think cats are evil, but that's my personal opinion.
Right. Understood.
No, I'm just saying that I like dogs better than cats. I just think cats are evil, and dogs are more friendlier. My brother's dog is lovely. But he didn't train her right. He didn't train her enough, I think. But that's my personal opinion for training the dog, So that's So when anything else new happened?
Hey, these dogs actually are an income. A properly trained dog, or let's even go even further, a specifically trained dog like Malinois or great German Shepherds. When you train those dogs to find, they're actually great hunting dogs for illegal cash, and the cops use them for drugs. And we have a canine down here. His name is Zeus. He retired, and the dog that they retired, who replaced him, was killed in the line of duty. So they brought Zeus back out of retirement, and they put him back in the squad car. Zeus died the other day. He had some sort of biological death. He wasn't actually in the line of duty. But I would love to. I got to tell you, one of the best tools for law enforcement is a dog with teeth.
I bet you that is. I mean, I have a dog. My dog had teeth, and when she played rough, she played rough. But and I go, oh, you're hurting me. She would stop and give me a kiss. I love that dog. I wish I had her again, but one day I'll get her one.
But I would rather, I don't know if I'd rather get chased by a cop or a dog, but I just would rather not be in that position to begin with, to have to decide.
I'd rather be chased by a cop than a dog, because a dog probably could get my...
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Every time I think of a cop, I think of the oversized belly at the same time, and it's like, yeah, I can probably, yeah.
And
that's wrong with me. That is just wrong.
And you need a donut. That's what I think. I don't know.
I go right to the donut, and that doesn't, always work off, during the day and everything, and it piles on, and
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We should make fun of our law enforcement agencies because we have some really great cops and we have some really bad cops. And I salute the good cops. I salute the good cops because I don't want to be pulled over in my town of Rolling Ghettos and the cops say, oh, you said this shit about me. No, I didn't.
Yeah, no, I said it was about in general. And if you dare think that has anything to do with why you pulled me over, you can step aside now.
Well, I know, but I mean, I just know that some cops in a lot of areas are not the greatest. But I mean,
we have like 3 cops in my town, and all 3 of them have oversized bellies. All 3 of them.
Really? We got to talk about that. Oversized bellies. Well, that's right. You live in a small town in Indianapolis with a strange area code.
Yeah, I am a really small town.
So how's
and I wouldn't change it for the world. I can go visit the real world and the craziness, and staying in touch with reality, from afar, but from a rural standpoint, is kind of entertaining.
So how far are you from Indianapolis? Are you real far, or are you like a couple miles away?
No, I'm 20 minutes out.
Oh, that's not bad. I mean,
no,
that's not bad. It's not good. I mean,
From Chicago to Indy is the expressway called I-65. I moved 15 minutes closer to the entrance ramp to I-65, so my last move got me a little bit closer to my office up in Griffith. But I was just up there yesterday, Monday. I had a closing in Crown Point, ran over to Merrillville, hooked up with some realtor friends that I have, met a couple of builders who are building out up in that area, came down here, did finalized my closing for Avon, which is right by the Indianapolis racetrack, got Sylvia's house closed. It was a full day, I got to tell you. For somebody who sat all day, I came home tired.
Hey, how's that monastery you were telling us about last week? Is it?
Oh, yeah. I was looking at some other some surveys and some aerial drone footage, and I think I found another place a little bit further back than where I explored, but there's a whole part of the property I haven't even seen yet, with grottos and outbuildings. I found one outbuilding that's just a sanctuary. It's just a one-room. It's on cinder blocks. It's in the middle of the woods. It has no view whatsoever. It's a house on cinder block. It has vinyl. It's got vinyl siding. It's got asphalt shingles on it. They had to carry all that crap down the hill and but it's just a one-room sanctuary, and it says in the front, "House of Prayer," and on the inside it says "For prayer only."
Really?
Like,
wow.
That was just like, if they needed to go away and just be isolated with their thoughts, it was provided for them. I thought, that's pretty cool. It's just an ice shack, if you ask me, with vinyl siding and cinder blocks, and it's a glorified ice shed.
Hey, if you want anything, contact Dan, the realtor of the stars
Yeah,
of
yeah. Look at
Indiana.
that. I said no problem. Yeah,
Yeah, Dan,
uh,
the realtor of the
but
stars
yeah,
of Indiana, and the world's famous dog trainer, Dan, my man Dan. So,
hey, thank you. I
well,
just speak on.
he's a whisperer. I mean, I used to be a whisperer, but my buddy's no longer with us. So what else? I kind of we lost one of our pets at our house. We have a lot of pocket pets. That's what the vets call them. Or one of our guinea pigs, Mr. Foxy. He passed away recently, and my wife and my daughter buried him in the house in Wisconsin, and blah 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 blah. And it's like,
Ugh.
yeah, it's just that's how they are. They bought a fancy box for him and they buried him. But hey, they gotta do what they want to do, and I'm just saying okay. And the house is coming along good. I got the tractor. I got a plasterer coming in next week doing all the drywall I put up. He's gonna plaster it because I don't know how to plaster, and I don't want to do a damn bad job. So that's good. I drywalled all that house by myself, my wife and I, and that was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. I've never did it before. So if anybody has any plastering tips, contact us on our Facebook group page, Two Guys Talking Shit or GTS, and anybody who has to put something up there, you can. So what else is going on with you, my friend?
I found a house that I might do a flip on. It looks like some of the floor joists, actually, all the floor joists are probably going to end up being repaired. But it's like right on the outskirts of town, right on the main drag. Beat the snot. You know, the life has been beaten out of this thing 20 years ago. It could use a little, tender loving care on the outside. Maybe, change the color, put on a different siding or whatever, tidy up the place a little bit, upgrade it and put it back on the market. Doesn't seem like a bad idea. But the house is just beat to snot. I mean, some people don't know how to take care of a house. I'm not talking about current people in their houses. They should know better by now that your home needs maintenance. However, I have seen really significant problems with weathering. It's like the homes don't weather well if you don't take care of them. And it's like there's a lot of situations with these homes that, if you're going to buy a home, you better be thinking about a home inspector. I don't care if you're Illinois or Texas or Indiana. There's a problem. You can't see them all, but every home has a problem, guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed.
And if you're a sponsor out there, siding or construction, contact Dan Nolan and we'll promote we'll promote it on our show. Two Guys Talking Shit.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I know. A home inspector pointed out a lot of things when I bought my house. A lot of stuff that was not done and needed to be done. My house was 125 years old or 130 years old, something like that. But
yeah, come on, it's a lived-in house 20 times over.
My house,
yeah, you're going to have problems with it.
My house was last time it was rehabbed. It was 1970, so I had to change all the plumbing, all the electricity, tube and knob. I found some fires.
Yep.
Found some burned wood there. There was some fires going on that I didn't know about. But I mean, when you buy a house, you gotta work. You gotta find the wrongs, and there's a lot of goods and there's a lot of bad things. That's really it.
A lot of people did their own repairs back in the day, which turned out to be horse shit.
Yeah, and there was no. And back in the day, there was no home inspector either. I don't think was there in the 70s.
We do have building codes, and I just recently looked this up. The electrical codes are from a book written in 2008 and have not been updated since. But the electrical code update that they put out in 2008 is pretty comprehensive, where you have to have, circuit breakers instead of those twist knobs or, I mean, yeah. Oh, do you remember those?
Oh, I remember those. Yes, I remember those.
Man.
Oh, my God.
People putting pennies in that shit and just, shorting it, letting all that electricity through.
My house in Wisconsin in the garage, there was a circuit breaker, and I wanted that out because there was fuses there, and I don't. It was the house was wired in the '70s, and so I had got good guys. My electricians came up and they hooked up the thing, took out the other circuit breaker, and left me a mess to clean up. I love these guys. I love these construction guys. I had a dumpster there. They didn't throw anything away. Just left it in the middle of the floor of the backyard. So I had to clean it up. But that I guess I'm not paying them to clean up their own mess. But that's okay.
Roofers are known to do that. There's like parts of shingles like in your yard for like weeks after they leave, and there are some companies that really do go out of their way to make sure that nothing is left. I cleanup is part of the gig, dudes. You make a mess, you clean it up. Sorry.
It's okay. I was coughing. I got this cold going on. Go ahead, talk. I'm just gonna cough my lungs out. So.
Oh, okay. Well, when you get down to the pancreas, stop.
Okay, I'm back. I was coughing. Now, everything else is going on. Anything special going on? Are you guys? We got. I was thinking guys got to do something for the winter for a lot of homeless people. I want you guys, if you guys have any jackets you don't want, donate to Salvation Army or Goodwill or somebody.
Yeah, now's the time to thin out the old stuff if you're thinking about getting some new. Donate that. Put it into a trash bag and take it into Goodwill. Sometimes they'll give you a receipt for tax write-off purposes. In my case, I just throw them in the bin and I'm done with it. Whatever. You want to get
I was thinking
go to a place and give it away.
Yeah, I was just thinking about these people because I saw in Chicago there on the news there was a homeless encampment where there was somebody torched something, and the fire department over there, the news were right there, and they were filming it, and my heart went out to them. So donate to Goodwill or Salvation Army, either one. Let's have it. It's gonna be a cold. I know it's gonna be cold in Chicago. I know it's gonna be cold in Indianapolis. So we got.
Yeah, they were saying we're expecting unusually colder weather this year. Not as much snow. Geez, we've had like 3 flurries in the last 10 years that I've been here. I haven't been hit by snow too badly down here.
Well, you're from Chicago. You know how to snow.
Yeah,
it's like
it's nothing.
Yeah, it's like today is cold. Tomorrow they're saying it's going to be warm in Chicago. What are you going to say? It's part of the city.
Yeah.
So
just give it 15 minutes. It'll be summer soon.
Yeah. Hey, and the Bears are having a problem with the city of Arlington Heights about buying.
Whoa, really? What's going on there?
The city of Arlington Heights wants them to do more than what they're doing. I guess. I don't like to. Well, don't send me it. Well, if you want to send me a hate note about the Bears, go ahead. I don't like the McCaskey family. I just think they screwed the team so many times over, screwed players over, so I don't really care for the McCaskies. I have a friend who knows Mrs. McCaskey, and he says she's a wonderful woman, and I don't, that's good. But they screwed the fans and the players, I think. That's my personal opinion. So, hate letters, some big hate letters on our
yeah, and send your hate letters to @Ben at.
So that's really it. And it's like one of my best friends who passed away recently. His wife gave me his watch, and I was like, I can't wear this watch. It's Mark's. But you're his best friend. Mark didn't have a brother. He had a sister, and he considered you a brother, and he wanted you to have it, and he loved me. This guy had more records than he could open his own record store if he wanted to. But she sold all his records. She pulled aside of my, Mark and I used to fight about the Beatles. I used to make fun of Mark. I used to make fun of Paul McCartney, and I used to say he sold out, blah, 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 just to give him shit. And Michael Jackson, I used to give him shit about Michael Jackson, too. So if you want more hate letters, to bed at Big Daddy Blue. Oh, no, never mind. To bed at our Gmail address. Ben, you suck.
Yes, another Ben.
Ben, you suck. Okay. So that's all that's going on with me. Anything else going on?
Just watching the economy spiral down the toilet a little bit more and more each day.
Well, Joe released more gas from our reserves, I guess, to help the
Yeah,
price.
another 10 million disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that. I mean, I don't know. They're saying that Russia is part of. I didn't know Russia was part of OPEC, but I guess they are. I didn't know how much oil they produced, so they are part of OPEC, and that's why the prices of gas are going up. Wow.
I like how Joe went over there for a special meeting and they said, fuck off.
Uh,
He went over there to plead his case to raise oil prices after the election to help him. And
they,
sure enough,
they said, fuck off.
it blew up in his face.
I don't know. I don't. I like Joe. I do not like Trump. You know, I just don't like how Trump operated. How if he said to America, America, we have COVID. Wear masks. Stay home. 6 feet away. You know, don't.
And it was all bullshit.
Yeah, he didn't say nothing. He said, I'm not wearing a mask. It was like, it's going to go away in April. It's going to go away in. No. If you were honest with everybody, you would have probably won this election.
Well, Biden today said something about how the oil companies need to pitch in and give a little bit back to the American consumer, and that they should be ramping up. When all he's done is prevent them from doing their jobs, he's done everything to support electric over gas. He's been heavy-handed this whole administration, and now we can see a gas crisis coming, and now he's it has everything to do with production, which he didn't want them to do. And now he's telling them that it's their fault. Nothing, it's tough on Joe. I got to tell you, nothing sticks to this guy.
You know what? I saw a funny thing on Stephen Colbert last night. Marjorie Green was talking about how Pete Buttigieg is not a man and he believes in electric cars. So Stephen Colbert's crew did a thing about the Pontiac Schwanz car. If you have a big Schwanz, you know, it was really funny. You got to watch Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, I would probably watch that.
It's a Schwanz car. Come on. The size of your Schwanz, the Pontiac Schwanz. Drive it. Oh, there was only 3 speeds. Drive and park. Overdrive and park, and that's it. No reverse.
Hey, Biden just announced $2.8 billion in grants for U.S. battery supply chains.
Oh, really? Good for them.
Another $2 billion out the window.
Well, I know student loans. He did things for student loans too, but I don't know. So
I do. You knew you were making that debt. Pay it.
Yeah, my kid's paying her debt for student loans, so I mean I can't bitch at her. She's.
I'm sorry. Your career choice didn't work out. Liberal arts wasn't exactly a genre that was going to make you money. I'm sorry you have to work. I'm sorry your degree is worthless. But you chose to go that route. You also chose advances to go party. I know how that stuff worked. You were able to take money out and you went out and partied. And I'm not forgiving you a loan for that. I'm sorry. I had to pay. You get to pay.
Yes, they have parties? I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know you take a loan out for parties. I would have been partying all. Wow, that's why.
I know. They lived great. These people, it was almost like an open line of credit where they could get credit, and just use it when they needed it. And it was like every Friday, here we go, we're hitting that ATM for another 500.
Oh my God, I would have.
Some of those bills isn't tuition. Some of it's the part, and some of it is party.
Oh my God, I would have been dead. I would have been dead. I would have been drunk. I would have been dead out of my mind. I would have been, one of the reasons why I gave up drinking is because when I started drinking, I'm the most friendliest person in the world. I would buy you a drink. I would hug you.
Oh, you bought tons of drinks.
Yeah, tons of drinks. I would be, come here. I love you. Give me a kiss. I would have found myself. Well, I did find myself a lot of money lost, and that was because I was drinking too much, and I was silly. So that's all that's going on.
And sometimes people, out of high school, they either, go into college or they go into their, normal life or anything. Most of my friends went on to college and majored in drugs. I just skipped the college part.
I'm,
And I paid for it all. I paid for
well,
everything. I didn't have a line of credit.
well, I made you do weed. I made you do beer and weed. I mean, when I was 21, I went backpacking in Alaska, and that was the most beautiful trip I did. But we
Mm.
decided I could cap Wisconsin, the Devil's Lake and stuff, but I figured we looked at each other and said, "This is not Devil's Lake. There's no forest rangers. There's nobody around us. Let's get a hotel room." So we looked at each other and we got a hotel room, and we stayed at Denali National Park. It was $5. It was $5 a night, and we stayed there for 4 nights.
Wow.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think I think the state parks are up to 8 now.
oh really? Well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Got
I
it.
was looking at Harrison State Park. There's some things over here in Indianapolis that have a lot to do with the Civil War, and there's a lot of history around that area. It's like, well, maybe I'll do that with the dogs. Take one of the dogs out there, just let them get their scent, get the scent rolling and everything, and maybe just walk through one of the historic parks. Just see, the popular areas, where all the statues are, and maybe read all the plaques and then go home. But there's no reason why you can't get. Right now, it's like on my way home on I-65, I saw 2 hours of this. There would be a group of trees that are still green and one that is bright red. It was just like clumps of the colors are changing, and seeing the change over is pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
Well, that's really good. I mean, well, the busy. I was supposed to go to the. I don't know if you know this woods in Chicago. It's forest preserve called the Robertson's Family for Cemetery. It's part of the woods on River Road. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's supposed to be haunted. I was supposed to go take a friend of mine there who's never been there from.
Yeah, I've had a couple of cars break down there.
I promise.
But back in the '70s, if you go too far back, you'll find the cops.
I know. I was telling her about the haunted places like
Is that still a thing? You can go to the forest preserve and find weed. Is that still a thing?
I don't know. I don't really know. I haven't been I've been to Busty Woods, but I haven't been. I don't go there deeply in Busty Woods to look for weed. I don't. So hey, is anybody out there?
I was just gonna say it's been 50 years. I can.
Is anybody out there who's listening who found weed in their forest preserves? Well, I don't know about. Is there forest preserves in Indiana?
Oh yeah, a ton of them. Our state, we have waterfalls. We have covered bridges. I was looking for just like within an hour of here. I found like 15 places where I could go, take a dog for a walk or just go look at some history. But there's a shit ton of things that are like right here that I haven't seen yet. I haven't been to the Children's Museum yet, and from what I understand, we're like the top 3 children's museums in the world. I still haven't even gone there. I was like, well, crap, that's like living in Chicago and not going to the shed yet.
Or the
I got a couple of things that I do want to get caught up on. Things that I do want to see.
Or the Sears Tower. I don't call it the Willis. I call it the Sears Tower. It's the Sears Tower. That's what I was thinking to be. And it's like the Comiskey Park. It's not the whatever park it is. Not the cell. It's Comiskey. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I go by tangent. So I see on our clock. We're almost out of here. Anything else you want to tell? I think I talked too much today.
Well, I think the economy is going to be okay if we just give it a little bit of time. But in between now and then, it's probably going to be ugly for a lot of people. I would encourage people to. I've been telling my brokers, we run our businesses as a business, and as a business, we have a reserve account for when we need to pay bills. We have a separate account where if money's not coming in, there's money to replace that money not coming in. So I've told all my brokers 6 to 9 months of reserve funds going into this next stretch. I think it's going to be pretty bad until the sales cycle starts up again in April. It's just going to be a hard, languishing, slow kind of death. If we have one world event, everything is off the table. And we shouldn't be in this position. I mean, we got supply breakdown, price, the housing cycle's broken, the lending cycle's broken, world politics is broken. There's too many things that are no longer in alignment that we need to get straight with.
Okay, well, you're trying to tell us we're all fucked then, huh?
Yeah, we're all pretty much fucked.
Okay, well, I just wanted.
Yeah, we still have a little ozone left, so we're not going to die of ultraviolet poisoning. It'll probably be nuclear.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're all. Well,
Have a good week.
I'm out of here. I just gotta finish getting my stuff out of my brother's house because I have all my stuff here and I gotta get it out. And I've been playing the guitar, so I want everybody to love each other, be positive. A positive.
Yeah,
word
just
is-
be kind.
A positive word is better than negative. There's too much negativity in this world. Love each other. See you, Dan.
Try and keep your promises. Move on.
We're out of here. So see you, Dan. Be safe.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Ciao.
Bye.